So when you got to Colorado,
Yes.
let's talk about that. Everyone, there's a transition. No matter what sport you are, there's definitely a transition with the level of play, all of these other, I guess, media now and everything else that you have to deal with that is not as amplified in high school. So let's talk about that transition. Was it something that it was seamless for you, or was there some big obstacles? Share a little bit about that.
I think I transitioned relatively well.
Okay.
And I think part of that is obviously, you know, you have the team. When you go to somewhere new and you don't know anyone, that makes it a little harder. But I guess knowing the team and having the coaches and meeting, you know, the athletic director, your academic advisor, all those people, I mean, they're part of your team there to help you. So I think just having that kind of made the transition a little bit easier. And yes, I get the question a lot, you know, Hawaii to Colorado, woo, big weather change. You know, after growing up here and not having snow, I was so excited to see snow. You know, the first time it snowed in Colorado, I've seen snow before on a couple like family vacation trips, but I mean, I would be the first one to text everyone, hey, let's go outside and play. So I kind of just enjoyed every part of it. The fall, the winter, the summer, you know, everything that went along with it. It is a lot of time management. I will say the first couple weeks were pretty stressful. And they tell you it's going to be stressful, but again, you don't actually know that it's stressful until you're in it. It's just a lot of, you know, adjusting and figuring out what your classes are. How do I get to practice? What kind of, you know, how does the team work? Where's the dynamic and all that? But I think I adapted fairly well.
Really well.
Yeah.
Part of that too might have been your schedule management, time management, you know, your senior year, because you were being homeschooled. You had to still figure out how to get all of the classroom and the studies done and be on the golf course as well. And you also mentioned that, did you go up to Colorado earlier?
Yes.
Okay. So when did you go up to Colorado?
I believe it was my senior year. So I actually visited Colorado like 2 times, I think, because I wanted to be sure. And then that last time that I went is when I signed the NLI.
Got it. And did you stay up there like for the spring of your senior year?
Are you talking about like after college or in high school?
Or in high school.
In high school, they have a limit where you can only visit, I think it was like 2 or 3 days at a time for your official visit.
Got it.
Got
it. So at least
days.
you were kind of acclimated, or you were exposed to the environment and everything.
Right. I got to see all the practice facilities and kind of, you know, go to a football game and see kind of like the culture, check out the campus and all that. You know, you have dinner with the team and just meet everybody. So you could kind of get a vibe for how the school and everybody is.
Well, that must have been an exciting time. And you mentioned winters, and definitely winters are, well, unfortunately I've had to experience Colorado winters and Michigan winters, and I'm not a fan of both. When you live there, it's good for vacation. How was it like after the first initial year? Was it something that you still really liked the seasons? Or was it something that, okay,
absolutely.
That's
I mean, they called it bipolar boulder for a reason. So it could be, you know, 40 one day, 70 the next day. And Colorado to me wasn't as cold as I thought it was going to be, you know, like 55 degrees and sunny. You're in shorts and a t-shirt. Completely fine. And I enjoy cold weather. So maybe that made it a little bit better.
That definitely makes it more bearable. And we're getting on a tangent here, but since you mentioned how bipolar the weather is, so as I mentioned to you, I went to Colorado Boulder my freshman year, and then I came back to Hawaii UH. But I will never forget this, because I was like so ready to come home. I was like, okay, it was a good experience, but I'm ready to come home. The week that I was coming home, so I think it was the last week of April or first week of May. It was like 50s, no rain. It was just sunny, nice weather. I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning and there was a foot of snow. And this was the week that I was going home. I was like, I need to get out of here. Like a foot of snow in May.
See, I would have been the opposite. I would have been like, let's go outside and play.
I was like, I'm ready to go home, go to the beach, get in the warm weather. But it is so bipolar. So that's what I want to talk about next is, you said, and I've seen some of the facilities at Colorado. The facilities are state of the art. It's the best facilities. I mean, it's a big time conference, big time program. And let's talk about the facilities and how you trained, because you said you had indoor facilities. You had a lot of places to go around the local area too. But that's what people don't realize, I guess, is that golf, it's year round, like you mentioned. And how do you practice when it's 2 feet of snow outside, right? So
with our school, I mean, we had about 8 different courses in Colorado that we could go to and change it up. So we weren't always, you know, getting complacent and just practicing on one layout. So that was great. And then when it did get cold, we had an indoor facility.
Okay.
So my first 2 years, there was one about 20 to 25 minutes away at our home course, Colorado National Golf Course.
Okay.
And there's indoor, basically heated hitting bays. So that's what we would hit out of, indoor chipping green and a putting green. And when I was there for my junior and senior year, they built one on campus. So you no longer had to drive. So that included, you know, again, an indoor putting green, a simulator, and kind of like a chill out, relax area if you wanted to go and stop off in between classes.
Yes.
So I mean, the facilities were there. You just take advantage of it and use it. Yeah.
So that's crazy how much facilities, you know, what you had access to. And
Oh, yeah.
That makes it, it makes a huge difference in how you can actually get better and improve too.
Right.